subjective truth is the eternal truth of this world. To tell you the truth, this is the primary reason why we as humans tend to get into conflict. So this physical reality brings with it inevitably negativity, which is in a sense of separation, right? Anything you feel bad about, anything you feel negative about, it's but a result of you feeling separate from that thing or person. This means that it's not your fault that you feel bad. It's not, oh my god, that felt so wrong to even say, but it's not anyone's quote unquote mistake, if mistakes are even a thing, to feel bad. You see, when you get gaslighted as a child, and your truth gets called into question for someone else's personal interests and benefits in a manipulative way, then obviously when that's the only thing you see and that's the only environment that you get to experience around yourself, when that's the place you grew up in, then you will make that a baseline functioning for yourself, meaning a white flag is raised. You will most likely not even try to not question your truth. This is why so many of us grow up to be control freaks, right? So when we grow up to be control freaks as young adults and try our wings, so to speak, in our lives, that's the very era in a person's life when they go through kind of from an outsider's perspective what they've been through during childhood all over again. And that's not an easy life phase to be at, but some people just go with the flow so much that they they apply to university, they get jobs, they do whatever the hell they find is most beneficial for them, but at the same time they forget to, how can I say, they forget to grow up. You see, I've grown up with an immature mother, meaning I love her, but part of me knows what has gone, so to speak, wrong with her. But it's when I say wrong, it's not that I don't find myself quote unquote wrong in the situation either. So I have come to a point where now I have compassion for both myself and my mother, for what she's shown me, for what she's gone through, for what she's experienced and made her children experience. Along with my father, obviously I have two parents like everyone, so when I talk to my father in person, I've gone through multiple years of hard inner work while still partially meeting up with my parents regularly. So I almost partially lived with them entirely, meaning I got the chance to self-reflect and then go back, and then self-reflect and go back, and then self-reflect and go back. I got to experience this on purpose. This was my main focus in the past few years, meaning I didn't really focus on anything else besides this. So I got the chance to kind of look into my childhood trauma and all these things. And to tell you the truth, most of the planet, in terms of our species, upbringing of children, most of the planet is living in abusive households, unfortunately. If households are still even a thing when it comes to being an adult, right? Because young adults no longer really choose to live in households unless they purposefully do that for the sake of having a child. So when a child grows up in an abusive environment, they tend to suppress it, and so as they go through life, it becomes harder and harder for them to just question themselves, but in a good way. You see, question the mirror. I have read this book from Till Swan called The Sculptor in the Sky, and I have discovered this amazing fact that some of us come into life with a purpose that includes having our emotional compass meddled with for the sake of discovering later that the mirror that we've been shown as children has been completely and utterly distorted, if not most of us. So our purpose as humans on this earth is unique, but still we cannot unbelong from humanity, so we do share a collective truth. We do share something, and something is in common. This is why you see that even though people are from the same roots, some species are from the same roots, even evolution goes to prove this, you see. Most people on the planet today, as differentiated, as separate, as diverse and unique as they are, they do have some common goal, which in part is to learn about themselves. Till Swan, this leader I follow, also told that the purpose of humanity's existence is for God to know itself better, meaning our species serves to account for the mind of God. Wow. And when she said that, I was like, ooh, that's like a novel idea, but at the same time, I would also say that as much as this makes us unique as a species, we also just see benefit from life as animals. So we just wobble around, we just eat, sleep, connect, and repeat, basically. And rinse, of course, to just charge up a little bit if we are lucky. But you see, the ones who are lucky today are not the ones who got it all, even from the outside on the surface or from whatever perspective. The luckiest ones are actually the ones who understand themselves, because it is only through understanding that love can happen. There is no other way out than by going in. The only way out is going in, okay? Lap Huberman, I have watched this interview with Lap Huberman. I have looked up the search words Lab Huberman social media. So this is what I typed in, and there was a short version, and there was the long version of the interview at the end of the short excerpt. So in that interview, Lab Huberman told us, for example, if we go through a heartbreak, this interview was very, very talented, I would say. He asked really good questions, and he asked, okay, so if we go through heartbreak, how do we deal with that? And even Lab Huberman said that the way out is by going in, meaning if you suppress it by going to work, or you just do some activities, you distract yourself. That is one way of dealing with it, but then even that issue will come up later in life. I personally have a story to share with you, a very, very, very extremely deeply touching for me. Actually, this is my main focus in life right now, and it's about my eyes. This issue I have with my eyes, I have myopia, which is nearsightedness. About 50% of the population today, if not increasingly more, has myopia, meaning short-sightedness. I'm not sure this is the best fact ever that I've heard, but to tell you the truth, I'm not disappointed or ashamed by this fact, since I have come to improve my own eyesight naturally. I have, on paper, the last time I checked, I've had, measured by a computer, by the way, -8, which completely blew my mind, because when I was in a space, in a place in life where I was like at a turning point with my eyes, I literally stopped university just so I can heal my eyesight. Nevertheless, I am at the point now that I have such clear flashes that my eyes have proved me quote-unquote wrong in terms of how quote-unquote badly seeing I am, because these clear flashes happen regularly, and I have built up trust in my eyes to such a degree that I now can attune to my vision feeling good, meaning when I go outside and UV gets to my eyes, that is the only time when my eyes get to really relax, especially after several hours of binge watching Lab Huberman and such the night before. But needless to say, indoors I can also improve my eyesight, but that happens more so passively. So for example, if you sleep in a dark room that is completely short of any source of light coming in, then for example, that is said to help improve your eyesight. So later I will share more about this topic, because this is such a personal topic for me, and I know that so many people are struggling with their eyes, at least in terms of the optometrist noticing their vision getting worse. If that's not a struggle, I don't know what is. So I'm just here to tell you that optometrist, even to my dad who is a doctor, I've told him, okay, look, this is an issue because doctors act stupid. Okay, look, I see the truth. I'm not here to blame anyone. Everyone is just doing their job, right? So take this with a pinch of salt. But this is what I've told to my dad in my anger. Because I don't really get angry so often. But when I do, I really say the truth. So I said to my dad the truth in a very, very upfront way so that he can understand me. I didn't tell this truth to my dad so that I can just call people stupid. I did that so that my dad could grasp this concept that some things, even though they ought to be learned at uni or any course, some things are questioned by individuals, and that is when societal changes happen. And this is why primarily I created